What's up, everybody? Marshall, Budget Guy RC. Thought I'd pop on with a little bit of a Tuesday night hobby talk. See what people got going on, what they want to talk about. Yeah, I know my version of talk right now is you keyboard it, I talk it. But my chat hasn't been big enough yet really to go over and try to make it where I could split screen it, where all these different people could take the mic and talk. If my chats grow and it gets bigger and bigger as I go along, then yeah, I may switch over to something like that. But I just found people don't seem to connect with it that much right now. So unless I start getting more and more people in here. What's up, brother? Yeah, unless I start getting more and more people in these chats, I'll just keep them YouTube live chats, and I won't go through that other service, that StreamYard. I think it was 2 or 3 chats using StreamYard, and it just seemed like people were saying they couldn't find the comments, and you had to go over here to the side, and you had to click to open them just to be able to see them and read them. Whereas with the YouTube one, they're right here. Everybody sees them. That's in a chat. Everybody sees them. You ain't got to go sit there and open them manually to be able to see them. If you're in the chat, I see your comments. Somebody else sees your comments. But on that StreamYard version, I can see your comments because it's live. But for anybody else to read them, a lot of times they got to sit there and click and open them. And if anybody comes along and watches the video after I've uploaded it, after it's done and I'm done with it, they've got to go over there to the right and they got to click it and they got to open it up so they can view what everybody said during the video. And since I haven't had that many people in here, maybe 30 people at one time, at the most, 25, 30 people could pop in here during a chat. I don't really see the sense in going into the, StreamYard right now. But I do want to look into how to put like closed captioning, how to turn that on for this. So that way people that speak other languages, if they pop in to see what I'm talking about or listen to what I'm talking about, they got a better chance of, getting it translated so they can understand it. One of my RC buddies, he popped on the other night. He caught a few minutes and he said he understood this and that of it, but the majority of it said he couldn't understand it. And I understand that. That's like me popping on to somebody who speaks, French or Spanish and understanding 90% of what they say. It ain't going to happen, So yeah, I would like to learn how to, in the future, turn on like closed captioning. So maybe it'll put up the words when they're watching it or some kind of translation, so it puts it up for people, that don't speak English. And yeah, that would have helped get me a broader range of audience in here if I had that, because they could just sit there and read what I'm saying. I mean, the easiest way instead of me talking would be me just to type it out, but that still doesn't translate it for the people that don't speak English. That doesn't translate it automatically for it. They've still got to run it through something to translate it. So that's why I want to look into something like that down the road. If anybody pops on tonight and they have an idea about that, they know more about it than I do, put some comments down there. Let me know what I might can try. Anybody who watches this after I'm done with this video and has any idea or tips for me to make it where people that don't speak English can understand what everybody's saying on here and what everybody's typing, put it in the comments and let me know. Like I said, either while this video is going live or after the video is uploaded and everything and you watch it later. But tonight we're going to talk just about it, pretty much anything in the hobby. It can be fishing, it can be hunting if people want to talk about that. It can be RC, pretty much anything like that. Gaming, But As a lot of you know, people that watch my videos, I just did a few more mods on my neon green Lifetime Tahoma kayak, trying to get it more set up to make it easy to fish off of. I think rod and reel over here, even though when it comes up top, you got that slant like this of the kayak. If it had been flat right up there, it would have made that rod and reel holder sit a little better. Now it leans, more inwards than exactly what I wanted, but that's because of the way the kayak's made. And where I wanted to sit it, it was just too far to reach forward. I'd basically almost had to come up out of the seat just to be able to grab the rod from where I really wanted to put it. I wanted to put it like you got that little tray that I got mounted. Right up above that tray, the area where you can lay a water bottle, up in that tray area right there past that tray, there's an area for a water bottle. I wanted to mount it right there in front of that tray. I've had a couple of viewers leave messages in different languages. I use the translation app so I can respond. Yeah, well, what's up, Massive Clouds? I don't see how to do that on YouTube straight up, Now, if I was uploading from my phone and answering comments on my phone, I could just download an app like that to my phone. But I don't know exactly how I go about downloading something that's going to translate everything, so I can understand it on here or they can understand me. Like I said, this was, I think the guy's actually like from Paris or France, somewhere over in that area. And he couldn't understand about half. He said he understood part of it, but about half of it he couldn't decipher. I always copy and paste into Google. Yeah, but I hate to tell my viewers that aren't English speaking, hey man, you got to copy and paste every comment you read. You got to go post that and copy and paste it into Google and get your translation so you can understand what I'm talking about. Because, if somebody comes into your chat, they come in here so they can, participate right then. And if they got to sit there and go be copy and pasting every comment that's said, say if you got 15, 20 people in here all commenting at the same time and they got to sit there and try to go down the line and grab comments and copy and paste them, that could be a little annoying for them, And I don't want to say, hey, you can only be English to join in. I mean, you can only speak English. That's not right. I want anybody who wants to join in and talk about the hobby or their hobbies to be able to be in here. I just don't know exactly how to get it set up where when I run a YouTube video and go live streaming, that it's going to make it where people of other languages can understand exactly what I'm talking about. I guess I'm going to have to look into that. I may check into that other app that I had, that StreamYard, and see if they have the option on their app. But that's something I'm going to have to look into. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's in live stream. I know what you're talking about when somebody comments on one of my YouTube videos. You can just come across there, copy it, go up there, look on Google, paste it in, and let it translate to English, and generally get a pretty good idea of what they're saying and go back and respond. But on a live stream, I'm not sure how to do this. I don't know if it's something I have to do when I get ready to end it and it says edit video, if I can go in there somewhere and add it on, or if it's something you got to do before you start it. But I haven't seen it. When I get ready to start up a video, I haven't seen it. What's up, Bull Gear RC Videos? So how's that little Panda Hobby Dodge Power Wagon working out for you? Bull Gear RC videos. Have you had the Panda Hobby Dodge Power Wagon out running in any to see what it's like? Excuse me. Haven't ran it yet. May try for a run video this week. Been working on the dual motor CR24. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it's been like 3 weeks, 4 weeks now. He put up a video earlier tonight of some new swim baits and different things that he got in some new fishing line. I went over there and gave him a holler on it. Depends on the RC, brother. No, just what you saw in the video. Putting the rod holder on there, the rod cleat on there, the anchor system on there, and the watertight box to hold my iPhone 6S Plus, my wallet, my keys, and, stuff like that. Other than that, that's all I've done to it. It's what you saw in that last video. I've already got a couple more ideas I may do to it, but I haven't decided. Making a CR24 into a 1940 Ford sedan. Oh, that should be cool. But you don't see many 40 sedans, in RC. Now, wishing I was fishing 73. Is there an RC that can pull weight? Many of them. Depends on how much weight you want to pull. They do what they call sled pulls, like they do in real life with the big trucks and stuff pulling the sled with the weight that slides up the back as the sled goes down. There's actually RCs people have built just for pulling those. That's why you did it. Yeah, try to be different. Instead of doing exactly what everybody else is doing. But yeah, they have sled pulls where they're pulling weights behind RCs. So yeah, RCs can be built to pull weights. You don't have the right motor and the right gearing, you definitely could burn something up. Oh yeah, generally building something up to pull a pull sled down the track with the weights coming up to the front of it to weigh the back of your car down or truck down. Yeah, they generally got some money dropped in them. Around a pound or so. Oh, you got RCs that can pull a pound? There's some little cheap RC boats that can pull that. I've seen RC boats like what the one I put out in the water a couple weeks ago. Well, about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I've seen RC boats like that pull in a 2 to 3 pound fish. It may strain to do it, but I've seen them do it. Gamey RC pulled 40 pounds with an SCX 24. Wow. That's a lot of weight for a little rig. Oh, my dryer's deciding to talk to me. Seen a video on YouTube with an X-Max pulling a car. I've seen the one where the X-Max pulls this guy's kid in a wagon. The ones with the cars, they kind of make me think, just, like photoshopped or stuff, or it makes me think somebody's actually giving the car gas and it's just a quiet car. Want to rig up an RC to a line to pull a fish. Okay. Well, okay, so you're wanting to take the RC, set it by the water, have the fishing line run up to the back, so like the back bumper, and then you're wanting to have the line out there in the water. When the fish is on, the RC takes off up through the dirt and grass and brings your line on in with the fish, is what you're saying. Yeah, well, I seen this company on Amazon. They sell, it's a yellow. It hooks on the back of any RC boat that you already own. It comes off the back, comes out like that and comes to a point. And then you hook the line to that point and let it hang down so it's not right up by the motors. And this thing's kind of like this, it's yellow. And it literally hooks onto the back of your existing boat, comes out probably about that far from the back of the boat. And then they give you the kit, the little cheap line, a couple of weights, cork, and then you just put on like a night crawler or something. And you run your boat out there with it. And then when you see your boat starting to, because my boat don't have reverse, so if you see it starting to back up, you know you got one on, and you just gun it and try to bring them in. I want to pull a fish up a bank with an RC truck. Yeah, that would be a great video. Well, I would go something with torque, in my opinion. Something with good torque and good grip on the tires. But there's a lot of different RCs that can do that. Depends on how big the fish is, too. If it's just a pound, like say you're bringing in a pound crappie or a slab of brim. There's a video on YouTube of someone putting the line on the RC and pulling a fish out of the water like that. So somebody's already done that one once at least. I'm thinking about buying that little rod attachment I just told y'all about. I think it sells for about $20. It's yellow, comes off the back of your boat, and got the little kit. Now, my thing is I'd probably be a little bit smarter than some people would, because I don't like to lose stuff, not if I can help it. What I would probably do is take my boat, put that on it, and get it ready. Just don't put the bait on it and everything. Go out, take my kayak with me, go down to the lake, put my kayak in the water, and get out there, set that boat down, send it out with a worm on it. And that way, if something happens and the boat don't have the power, I can always paddle the kayak, get over there and retrieve the boat, even if it can't bring the fish in. But I'm looking at one of them. They're about $20, $25. What's up, Bobby's RCs? Well, a lot of time, now I'm going to just tell you straight up. I'll tell everybody in here, hey, man, y'all go check out Bobby's RCs. If you see something you like, think about giving them a subscribe. All right? There you go. But I think that little rod thing coming off the back of my boat would be fun. But I would want my kayak out in the water at the same time I'm doing that. Because you latch on to a 3, 4, 5 pound bass or cat, and it starts dragging your boat, or it flips your boat. Because, once it flips it, you're not bringing it back. Because my boat doesn't right itself. So my boat would be basically gone. But if I'm out there in the kayak and I'm doing this video and it flips my boat over trying to pull away with it, I can just pull up follow behind it when it tires out, grab the boat up, grab the fish up, and get them in the kayak, show that on video, laugh a little bit, and end it. I would probably film it from a chest cam or a hat cam. That way, if the bass hits real hard and he flips the boat, I ain't got to worry about nothing happening to the camera on board or anything. Tie a pole on the RC, laughing out loud. Well, I want to keep it light. That's why I like this kit I saw on Amazon. That way you can reel the boat. Well, that's the reason I like this other thing, this little yellow thing. It's only like 20, 25 bucks. It's on Amazon. And I can attach it to my boat. It only weighs like a pound or two on the back of it. So the weight's not going to be real heavy. And if you get something big enough to pull your RC away from you, if you're out there in the kayak, you can just follow it. And sooner or later that fish is going to tire out. And 9 times out of 10, you can get your boat back and you can bring the fish up. And you've had a good little funny video, watching the fish haul your boat around. Now, I've watched, Wishing I Was Fishing 73 had said something about he wanted to get one of those RC bait boats. Where they got the little 2 trays at the back. You fill them up with bait. You send them out in the water. And then you dump. And they dump the bait where you want it. Well, he said he couldn't find no real cheaper ones. Well, I found a couple for under $100. And the 2 trays, one of the trays had a slit on both sides of the tray where you could attach your fishing line. What you do is you attach whatever you want to fish with, the type bait you're fishing with, and a weight and a hook, whatever. You attach it through that little slit. You send it out there with the bait on the other side. When you pop that thing open, it dumps the bait. It drops your hook right beside it. And that way, when the fish come in for that bait, your hook's right there as well. And then you just bring the boat back in. I thought that was a pretty cool idea for a video, too, when I saw that online, that they've now made the bait boats like that. And you can get some of these bait boats for less than $100. You have to do your research, of course, and try to find them. And then research them and see if they seem like they're worth the crap. But since I don't use my boat that often, I just recently did that video of it out on the lake, but I don't use that boat that often. That's only like the 3rd time it's been in the water. Because it's the older model with the FM style radio with the big antenna. I may just buy that $20, $25 package to hook to the back of it so I can actually use it to play around with some fish. And that way, if you catch one and you hit the gas, you hit the throttle and you bring it right back to you, you bring it up in there, you get the fish off, you show it, throw it back in the water. Or if it takes your boat and starts pulling it around in front of you, you just follow behind it, get there and get it. Hi, I just got 4 new RC cars. Congrats. Massive. Would make for a great video. Yeah. To actually film that, I think to actually film that from the kayak and show the view of it, you sending it out there, stopping it in the water, letting it sit, and then watching your bobber go under and your boat pull back a little bit. Or if you're fishing on bottom with a small weight and just seeing your boat pull back. Bobby's RC is asking, what'd you get, Peppy Putt guy? Yeah, might catch your personal best. I'm thinking if it's a decent sized fish, first thing's going to happen when he yanks back and then yanks left or right, it's probably going to flip the boat. And then you're going to have to go get it. Lucky for me, one of my RC cars is a black Dodge Ram. Ha ha ha. Ah. Well, how you liking that boat? You said you was getting for your birthday. Ah, so your RC boat's coming this weekend. I know you're looking forward to that. Excuse me. Wishing I was fishing 73. If you're still in here, brother, did the guy make good on your little RC car that came in that was a dud? Did you get it yet? Or are you still waiting on it? Guess how fast it goes now. Is that the Dodge Ram? Or is that the boat? Baby putt guy, is that the boat or the Dodge Ram that you're saying? The boat? 20 mile an hour? I got 3 RC trucks. What you got, Bobby? $30 miles per hour. Ah. So, Bobby's RC, what's the 3 RC trucks you got? Well, it's probably what the company that makes the boat's claiming. It may not be actual mile an hour, exactly what it does on the water, but every company that puts out boats say, oh, this boat will run 60 kilometers or this boat will run 80 kilometers. And you get them. And when you get them, some of them make it. Some of them don't get where they say. I watched somebody do a video of a car that said it was going to run 80 kilometers. And he got, I think it was 55 kilometers out of it. You know. Still waiting on the little RC car to be sent back out to you. But yeah. A 2-wheel drive slash I worked on all winter. A DHK Maximus. And a 1/8 X-Rider Flamingo Trike. I got to ask you, because I was interested in that last one myself. I just didn't pull the trigger on it yet. What do you think of the X-Rider Flamingo Trike? For a ready to run little, trike. What are your opinions of it? And which color one did you get? Because I know they got the green one, they got the yellow one, and they got the red one. I love it. Cool. A while back, I was thinking of either getting the X-Rider Flamingo Trike or going with the little 3-wheel one that Tamiya has, the little rider. But you got to buy the kit for like 120, and then you got to buy all the electronics for it. And the little X-Rider, I just like it because the bobbleheaded figure, and it already comes ready to run. you know, and it looks like it could do a little bit more like in the dirt. The one from Tamiya, it looks like it's more on the pavement, you know, or on linoleum floor or something. Oh, you got red? I was thinking of going with the green or the yellow if I go with one. But I was really interested in one of those. I just never pulled the trigger on it. It's still up here in the head going, huh, maybe I should get one of those. But of course, there's a couple of RCs up here in the head going, hey, maybe I should get one of those instead. You know. But yeah. But yeah, I like the tires, like the back tires, the rear tires on it. I like them because they look like they can handle light off road. You know, like put them on light off road stuff. The back tires with a little bit of knobby type style they got to them. Whereas the tires on the Tamiya, what is it, the Dancing Rider or whatever it's called, the 3-wheeler, that little trike, those tires, they look like more like slicks, like you would run on pavement, or more like you'd run for drifting, something like that, you know. And even though I like the figure on the Tamiya Dancing Rider, the Flamingo one, just with the metal cage type work around it, the spoiler at the back, the bobblehead guy. Hey, you can't ever beat it when it's free. I mean, free's always good. I mean, because you didn't pay nothing for it. If it's not that great of an RC, you either give it away to somebody, or you sell it, or you try to upgrade it and make it better. But you're not hurting because you didn't spend no money. But they're not that outrageous anyway. Did he wishing I was fishing 73? You said you were waiting. Did he give you tracking on this one? What it is, guys, people that don't necessarily know what we're talking about, wishing I was fishing, ordered one of those little remote control RC cars, kind of like the Coke can ones. They come with the little bitty remote. And when it got to him, it was a dud. It wouldn't do anything. So he contacted the seller, and the seller told him, no worries, I'll send you out another one free of charge. And I'm asking him, had it come yet? And he said he's still waiting. And now I'm asking him, did he offer any kind of tracking on this one so you'll know when it's coming? Or you just got to keep checking your mailbox till it shows up? How's the turning on the Flamingo, Bobby? From what I've seen, the videos online, it looks like it's got a pretty good turning radius. And with that metal outer frame around it, keeps it from tipping as easy, because you can turn, and when you go to turn sharp, it'll rock over and hit the metal protector rail that goes around the front wheel, and they don't tip as easy as some things. But I could be wrong. It looks like it's got a decent turning radius, but that also comes down to the steering servo they got on it. You could always try to get you a better micro steering servo if you wanted more steering out of it or quicker turning. But, you know, faster you turn might make it flip over. But does it turn pretty sharp without flipping? Or is it just something that would be every time you go to turn it wants to go over, you know, with any kind of speed? No, should be here in 5 weeks. Now, wishing I was fishing 73. You just said it should be here in 5 weeks. Did you hear me earlier when I said about the bait boats like what you were looking at? I saw one online the other day for under 100. I don't know if that's where your budget is on that, but I did see, I think it was 2 different ones online for under $100. Now, one of them just had the 2 trays to go out and dump the bait. Then you bring it back in. And then, of course, you would throw out there where the bait is if you wanted to fish that spot, or you just send it out to dump bait and do that for a couple of days and then come down there and fish the spot. But the other one I looked at, 1 tray, you put your bait, to go dump for the fish. The other side, you can put bait there, or it's got a slit going across where you can just lay your fishing line and haul your line out there from your reel. You run it out there, and then you dump. Your line drops into the water right there with all that bait. And then you bring the boat back in and wait and see if you can get a hit. Now, the WL Toys, 14401, $90. That's that, is that buggy one? Yeah, that thing looks sweet as far as buggies go. That thing looks like it would be fun. Shenzhen, China. That explains it. Built like a tank. That would be small. That would be fun for a small track. Like a track set up for just running 1/16, 1/18 style RCs on, like your little short course trucks, the buggies, skate park. I had a Stampede 2-wheel drive too, but I swapped all my stuff over to the Slash chassis. There's a empty lot on both sides of us. And this is just a thought I had. I'm not saying I'm going to do it yet. But I thought about going into the edge of the woods on either side of us in a little clearing area there is on one side, clearing out some of that area and either make like a little crawler course track for, like, say, your small RCs, like 1/24th scale or 1/18th scale, something like that. Or I thought about making a small, either figure 8 or just a small oval for like your 1/24th scale size short course trucks and buggies, or maybe up to 1/16, 1/18. I'm not talking about 1/10 because you need to use up a lot more land for that. That's why I said either a track for little small short course trucks or buggies, or small crawlers. That's why I said 1/18, 1/16, or the 1/24th scales, something like in that range. But I haven't decided which one I'd want to do if I was just going to do one. So I got to kind of, just keep that in the back of the head, if I decide to do it. But I saw, here's a 120, I think it was 1/24th scale. It's one of the WL Toys short course trucks. And this thing looked mean. And I know they're a good price, so I thought about doing that. I'm hoping to hit 60 mile an hour out of my Slash. Well, good luck to you on that. I mean, I've seen a lot of people hitting that with them and hitting more, but yeah, good luck to you. But yeah, some things, you got in your head and you're thinking about doing, but you're not sure if you want to go that route or not, or you want to go a different route. And right now I'm thinking on it. Like if I get me another 1/24 scale size crawler, like say one of the Axials, SEX 24s, like say the one with the little Chevy pickup truck body, or like the one with the little Jeep body. If I got that one, or if I went with one of the Panda Hobby 1/18 scale, like trail rig, maybe do a small course like that for them, or do something for a short course truck or a buggy, But it's just in the thinking phase right now. Now, of course, it would be all for waste if somebody bought the land on either side of me, in the wooded area on either side of me, the empty lots. If somebody bought one of those, bought it, and I just happened to have that track there, oh well, that would be gone. But it would be, I think it would be fun while it lasted if I decided to do it. Wishing I was fishing 73. If you're still in here, when you plan on putting your kayak back in the water, my friend? And Massive Cloud, I'll go ahead and ask you. You done any more fishing since the last time we chatted? Since last week, basically? Oh yeah, I fish almost every day. Cool. That's, to be honest, years ago, that's the way I used to be. I'd come home from work. My friend would come home from work. He'd come over to my house, and we'd head out to the lake, or head out to a pond that he might have spotted on the way home from work one day, or something like that. And we'd go pretty much 2 or 3 hours every day. Wow. Fishing in a ditch near your house. I ordered a Surface Hobby 3660 3500 kV motor with an 80 amp ESC. I'm thinking on running 2576 or 2676. Pinion and spur gears. Well, Massive Clouds could lead you better in hitting speeds than I could, because he actually says he's had a Rustler that he was able to get up to 76. So he might give you a little better information on maybe what gear ratio, what pinion and spur gear to go with on that motor ESC combination to try to get your 60. Me, I'm not real big in the speed, because being on a budget, it's hard to come up with the money for some of that stuff. Just keep an eye on your temps. Yeah, definitely, because one of the YouTubers I used to watch, I like watching people run them, because it's surprising as all get out that you can get one that goes that fast. Some of these things are going to speeds that real cars are going, and it's just surprising that you can get them there, especially with them being electric. And I watched one guy, he got his up real high speed, and his LiPo burst into flames, and bye-bye car. Motor got really, really hot. LiPo was right beside it, and boom, it was a big, like a bonfire. Luckily, he had a lot of real good RC buddies, and they sent him a bunch of parts to basically build him another RC to get him back into the game. You know. Now, Massive Clouds, I know you watched my video because you commented on the one of the kayak where I did the, mods that I did to it. I'm still thinking about doing the do-it-yourself stabilizers. He's asking, he said he's going to watch his motor temps and asking what would be a good gear ratio. And Massive Clouds is asking you what battery you're going to run with that system. But Massive Clouds, what I was telling you is I'm still considering the outrigger. I haven't dismissed it, but I haven't completely made up my mind. I don't know if I just want to, since I'm a budget guy, I don't know if I just want to spend the money and order this one off of Amazon or eBay, get it here, drill some holes, mount it on there, inflate the two little inflatable parts, and put it on the water, or whether I want to do the DIY one and get me some PVC pipe, some pipe glue, and everything, and grab me 4 2-liter soda bottles and everything, and go get me some of that foam, that insulating foam that swells up. Open a 2-liter bottle, spray that in there, let it expand out and fill up the 2-liter bottle. Hook that like this to a T, and then have it come up and come across to the kayak. He's going to run a Gens Ace 4000 mAh 45C3S. Well, you definitely should be able to pull 60, in my opinion. Make a few passes, and if it doesn't cog like crazy and the temps are fine, I would up it to 2876. Well, but with that 3S, if you get the right gear ratio, you should definitely be able to pull 60. Because I've seen people on 2S run 50 and 60, with a slash. They did what they call the 2S challenge, where that's the biggest battery you can run is some type of 2S LiPo, and they were hitting 50 and 60. But yeah, 3S, if you get that gearing right, you shouldn't have no problem hitting 60. But yeah, Massive Clouds, I think the most expensive, if I do it the do it yourself way, the DIY, I think the most expensive part of that build would probably be the foam, the spray foam that you spray inside the 2 liter bottle and let it expand up to fill it up. That would probably be the most expensive part of the build, because I think that sells like for $3, $4, $5 a can. But you figure it up. If you use a can per 2 liter bottle, and say it is $5 a can, you got 20 there. Cheap 2 liters only like 62 cents a 2 liter. 4 of them, and then some PVC. I'm figuring you could probably do it for $35, $40 at the most. Might even get it by cheaper. Because I mean, I've seen them Walmart 2 liters, 62 cents before tax. So you figure 4 of them, add some tax onto it. Shop around and try to find you the foam, the expanding foam, for a good deal somewhere. Buy up that. Buy up at least 2 cans. It's probably going to take 4, 1 for each bottle, but just in case, buy up 2 first. Buy 2 first. Start out, fill up 1 bottle, and if you got something left, go ahead and start the next bottle. You might get away with 2 cans. You might get it done as cheap as $25. And then you got an outrigger set. Oh, yeah. Like I said, you get them gears right, you should have no problem with a 3S 4-pole motor, that KV, at least getting 60. Yeah, I got a, you know, the how they attach a pipe to a wall, you know, or underneath the floor, under a house. You got those, they look like aluminum. They're kind of like a C like this, and you got a place on each side where you can put the screw to hold it. I'm thinking a couple of those clamps, one on each side, screwed down to hold the main piece of PVC. Then you're going to come off that PVC, and you're going to cut it down to an angle, and you're going to head down. Then you're going to cut another joint and go straight down from that. Then you're going to come into a T on each side, and you're going to have a 2 liter bottle on each end of that T. And that way, it's probably about this far out on each side of the boat from you. I ordered it off of AliExpress shopping app. Cool, ain't nothing wrong with that. I've ordered stuff from Banggood. I've ordered stuff from GearBest, RC Moment, all different type sites like that. Now, sometimes it does take a little bit longer to get some of them things, but hey, for the savings you get, a lot of times it's worth it. Yeah, I agree. Just be careful not to cook it. So you run it down, you make a pass. Either bring it back slow so you can check them temps, or either run down there to where it's at and check the temps. Don't bring it back, just take it down. Go check the temps. And then if the temps are good, send it again or something. Found your road that you're going to do it on. Because I know a lot of times it depends on if you got enough road or something to get it to that speed. If you can make 2 passes and the motor feels fine, then I would go up to a 28 pinion. Yeah, because if she's getting pretty warm on just one pass, then you're looking at trouble if you try to make 2 passes. I have a straightaway road in front of my house. Oh, ain't even got to go nowhere. but I never ran that brand, so I'm not really sure how it will take that high of a gearing. So everything comes into play when you're doing speed runs. I've always ran Gould RC motors, but mine messed up. I've heard a lot of people said they had pretty good luck out of them for what they spent, for the amount of money, They were pretty good motors for what they put into them, That's just like I've got a 6x6, a cheaper model by Hingguan. It's a HG P601. And it's got a little cheap motor on it. And it's not brushless. It's just brushed. Well, I was able to put accessories on there. I was able to put better tires on it, change out the servo, put a better servo, change out the shocks. And it runs good with the way I got it set up. I watched somebody else take that same exact 6x6, and they decided they wanted more to have more weight on the wheels, so it would not want to tip because it's so big and bulky. They threw aluminum wheels, 6 aluminum wheels on that. Well, you figure you just got that one old cheap motor pulling 6 wheels as it is, and now you just added aluminum wheels to that. And the guy said when he put the 6 aluminum wheels on it and started running it across the yard, motor started smoking just by going up to aluminum wheels. Make sure your tires are in good shape and the glue is fine. Otherwise, you're going to blow a tire and that could end bad. Oh, yeah, you don't want to blow a tire running 40 miles an hour. I mean, you don't want to do that in a real car. You definitely don't want to do it on an RC car. Next thing you know, it's hitting a curve or flipping into a ditch, and you got half an RC car left, if that much. Yeah, you definitely should, man. Now, a lot of people, it's not for them because they don't like the idea of going slow. They like the speed, They either like the speed runs or like the bashing style RCs. Other people love the rock crawling, love the trail trucks, running it through some woods, finding some rocks, trying to see if you can maneuver it up them like somebody would do in a real one. So, yeah, they can be awesome fun. But if you've got anybody nearby you that owns one, that would let you, like mess around with it a little bit, I might try somebody's out if they would let you before you actually drop money on it, in case you decide it's not for you. Yeah, there's some pretty good ones. The RGT's really stepped up lately. I like crawling more realistic and blazing trails than the TRX4. Yeah, it's a good crawler, but that's definitely not budget friendly. And if he's just starting out in it, that's a lot of money to drop into something. And then if he don't like crawling, he's got to turn around and try to sell it. I'm just in my opinion. Now the RGT they've got a couple ones out. They just released recently one that kind of looks like a G-Made sawback Jeep. And it has the motor up front and the servo right here, chassis mounted. And those things are around $250, somewhere along there. There's one by RGT called the Pioneer. Looks like a little Toyota Helix pickup truck. Those I've heard really good things about. Now, the Red Cat Gen 7. Other than if you live in the cold, real cold area or using it in the wintertime, they say that's a pretty good little $200 crawler. The Red Cat Gen 7. But the foams, if you live where it's really cold, the foams get really, really stiff. But yeah, there are a lot of great crawlers for $200 or less. Now, Red Cat Gen 7, the Pro, you get that one for $249, and it comes with a bunch. Yeah, now if you just want a crawler, if you don't want a trail truck and you just want to crawl and exceed Max Stone 10 for around $140, you can't really beat it for $140. I've still got one that I've had for like 4 to 5 years now, still going. You know, so I can't complain. I think when I bought mine, they were actually cheaper. I caught mine on sale for like 120 or 130. I sunk mine in a creek. Run it down in a creek, went under. It just dropped under the water, and the current started taking it away. I brought it back, picked it up out of the water, give it some throttle, and it was working. So I was like, okay, I'm good. But yeah, man, there's a lot of them out there. That from what I've seen on YouTube, the Red Cat Gen 7 Pro, which is $250 basically, you get all them accessories, and at least it comes with a battery, even if it is a nickel metal. You can change it out later, but it gives you something to get started with. And for $250, you get a truck with all these scale accessories on it. For the price, you can't beat it. Now, my first thing, if it was me, would be, and you were going to run it during the wintertime, is I would change foams in the Gen 7. But that's the Gen 8. The Red Cat Gen 8. Looks like a Scout. It's like $299. Comes with the same tires and with the same foams. That would be the first thing I'd probably replace on it, would probably be the foams. Go with a better, like a 2-stage foam or something. I've ran a Castle system and everything. It's the best bang for buck RC I had ever purchased. $299, I would get the TRX 4 Sport. I'm kind of on the fence about that one. Traxxas, you get better quality control. Everybody knows it. As far as that goes. But yeah, a lot of people put jacks on them. They'll throw up like a little grill in the bed of the pickup truck, make it look like he's going out for an evening of camping and he's going to use his grill. Seen a little propane bottle sitting in the bed of a truck. TRX 4, $299. I can see that, the Sport. But then again, I like the Red Cat Gen 8 because the body. And if you bring it home and pull the body off, you can clear the inside of those windows, get the paint off of them. But, there's a lot of different cool accessories you can add. Yeah. If you can put a wooden bed on one or make it look wooden, yeah, those are pretty cool. But yeah, man, you get on eBay, Amazon, GearBest, Banggood, get on some of the RC different sites, go to RC Planet, you know, different ones like that. And a lot of times they'll be running a good deal where they'll knock like 20% off or something like that on one, and you might can get a whale of a deal. Now, Massive Clouds, I've got to ask, what's your opinion on the new Wraith that they had released? The 1.9 version of the Wraith. Didn't ECX come out with a crawler? Yeah, well, you know, they have the 1/24th scale little mini barrage. And then they have what they call the 1/10th scale barrage. But to me, it's 1/12th scale, in my opinion. Because I've got a 1/12th scale Thunder Tiger Toyota Helix. You put them side by side and they look like they're the same size. Yeah, you can find your accessories you might want to put on there. You can find different tires and wheels that you might want to change it up to. Steering servos you might want to go with. Now, Massive Clouds, I was asking, what did you think? What's your opinion on the newer model of the Wraith, the 1.9? Well, you know, the main bad reviews I've seen weren't from people who broke it by using it. They were people who think it should have been better than what it was for the price. But they didn't knock it because they broke it. I seen a guy run one, ran it through rocks and everything one day, then went back out the next day and ran it through mud holes and, thick, goopy mud. Like mud bogging with it. And he didn't break nothing on it. But the guys that I seen bash it and say it wasn't good for the price were people that had rigs that had all aluminum on them. No, that I actually didn't know. I've seen a lot of stuff on Wish. I didn't know they had already got the Red Cat rock crawlers now too. I love the opening hood with the battery up front like that. That way you ain't got to take no screws off. You know. Well, they say you can adjust that to fit a little bit bigger pack. That's what several of the reviewers I watched said about it. But now, if you notice, Horizon Hobby just knocked the price down on it. They just took I think it's like $20 off the price of it. And online then knocked it down to that, some of the online sites. And if you get lucky and you get a coupon, you can knock another $20, $25 off of it. I seen one the other day online for under $3. And all you got to do is get a battery for it. But I thought about that as far as 1/10 scale goes. Here was the ones I had in my head. I can't believe Jeep purchased Axial. Horizon Hobby had Axial. When did Jeep do this? Because I know Horizon Hobby purchased the Axial brand. I knew Horizon Hobby had purchased it. That's why they renamed the AE5, the Axial AE5. Now they call it the Dynamite AE5 speed controller. Well, everything I've looked at says that Horizon Hobby owns them. Because if you look at their ESC, it's a Horizon Hobby branded Dynamite ESC now. You look at the radio, they're now putting a Spectrum radio with it. instead of the tactic radio with all the newer axials. Yeah. And if you noticed, when Horizon acquired Axial, they let ECX go in the toilet. Because you can't buy any ECX products hardly online now without buying them from the actual store. You got to go to an Horizon Hobby. You can't really buy the Mini Barrage. You can't just click online and find it anywhere. You got to go to one of the Horizon Hobby stores to buy the little Mini Barrage. Or you got to go to the Horizon Hobby store to buy the regular Barrage. They basically quit showcasing them as soon as they acquired the Axial lineup. It's like, well, we got Axial now. Screw ECX. That's what it seems like they did to them. Because ECX, you don't hear nobody talking about the little ECX crawlers anymore. Whether it be the 124th or whether it be the Barrage or the Barrage Gen 2. Or the Doomsday. They discontinued that one too. Yeah, like I said, I've got the 2-wheel drive Torment, the 4-wheel drive Torment. I bought both of them used. I need to get some plastic shelves sometime. I got all my RC stuff in plastic totes. Yeah, I've got 2 of them. The ECX short course trucks, the 2-wheel drive and the 4-wheel drive. I bought both of them used on eBay. The 2-wheel drive went for 3 years after buying it on eBay used before I finally tore it up, before I finally broke it. And it's a spur gear. It needs a spur gear replaced. The 4-wheel drive Torment is still running, but the tires look like they're starting to try to get ready to come away from the rims. So I'm going to need to replace the tires and wheels on it. But since my 2-wheel drive and my 4-wheel drive run the same wheels, I could technically just grab the ones off the 2-wheel drive and put them on the 4-wheel drive if needed, since I haven't fixed the 2-wheel drive one yet. But I mean, I've had one of them like right at 3 years or a little over 3 years, and the other one I've had it more than 4 years. And I beat the snot out of them and just never broke them until after 3 years, finally took down one. And unprecedented industry news. Full-scale manufacturer Jeep has announced it bought RC manufacturer Axial. Where did you see that and when? Big Squid is where you saw that? I'll have to have a look, because the last time I checked, Horizon Hobby had it. And if you look, they just released that little, what is this, like a 67 Chevy C10? That was back in 2014. Well, if they acquired it, they didn't keep it long. And that was something I never heard about. I never heard about anybody else getting Axial until I heard Horizon Hobby bought them out. I wish somebody would step up and help out, do something with HPI. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they bought it. As soon as they got it, they realized it was a little bit more of an undertaking than they wanted to go with, and they turned around and sold it. How many LiPo batteries? Guess how many LiPo batteries you have? 15. I'll throw a guess out there. Because if you think about it, they just released that new SEX 24 that runs the 67 Chevy C10 body on it. They got it in like a gunmetal gray, and then they've got one in like a mint green. Oh, less than 15? 8. Now, say lower than that. Like I said, that was the reason for your electronics rebranding. Because it became, instead of the AE5, Axial AE5 ESC, they turned it around and made it the AE5 Dynamite ESC. They had to rename it. And then they changed the radio from running the Tactic radio to now they're putting the new Spectrum style radios with them. More budget friendly, as they call it, radio. To me, compared to the Tactic, six of them, huh? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seven. I'd say I've got 7. Well, I am a certain one. Now, I've got the Spectrum DX2E that came with my 4-wheel drive Torment. I love the feel of that radio in my hand. I love the feel of that one. But now my 2-wheel drive Torment didn't come with a Spectrum DX2E. It came with the type remote that you would find that comes with the Maxstone 10, that style remote. So, I like the DX2E. The only problem is, I at least, to be what I want, I at least want 3 channels on my receiver. So that way, I have the option of lights on that 3rd channel or a winch. And what I like to do is run the lights, the front lights, the tail lights, run them off of a battery, a separate battery. That way you can use the 3rd channel for a winch. That's what I would love to do. 2 Power Hobbies, 1 Gens Ace, Florion, and 2 Hex Flies. Cool. I've had a few Spectrum RXTX, and the damn transmitters had plastic steering knobs. Yeah, well, that's a lot of people's complaint about them because they don't have the foam on some of them. But I love the Tactic radio that Axial uses. That's what's on my G-Made sawback. Somebody put that with it. And I love that one, the Tactic one. I love that radio. And it's got that 3rd channel right there beside the wheel. And I would love to have a few of those. You know, so that way, because a lot of my RCs, like I said, I wire up the lights where you have headlights, you might have fog lights, and then you have your tail lights. And then what I do is I run them on a 9-volt battery. Bingo, 9-volt battery. And this one has the headlights, the fog light type lights, and then it has the tail lights. And that way, it's not pulling on my battery on my truck at all. So all the run time is saved for the motor. You know, because you got nothing pulling on it other than the truck, the running of the truck. You got the servo and the motor and the ESC. You got that stuff right there pulling on your battery. That's it. You don't have the lights. That's what I like about doing them that way. Put that 9-volt, put a piece of Velcro on the 9-volt, Velcro it under the hood or wherever you can fit it. I try to go under the hood if I can because that puts the weight towards the front of the vehicle. Helps it climb a little better. Ah. Yeah. Futaba, way too pricey. Budget guy couldn't never get into nothing like that unless I found a used one. The clone is $129. Oh, you glue them in. When I'm running 9 bolts, I just use Velcro. You know, as long as I don't run them in the creeks too much, it holds up good. The Velcro I got on that one, I've been using it ever since I put it on there. And I've had that Velcro on there probably for 2 years. So, and that way I can just when the battery dies, put a piece of Velcro on a different battery. Yeah, I'm not dropping $600-700 even if I had it on no radio. Could you imagine the amount of fishing tackle? Could you imagine the amount of RC stuff you could buy for that same amount of money? That's why I just don't see $600-700 for one radio. If I'm not spending $600 or $700 on the RC or on a boat to fish in, I'm definitely not going to spend it. Well, for my kayak, you could buy like 3 kayaks for that price. For my style kayak, you could get 3 of them. Remember, they're about $200 a pop. So you could get like 3 of them for that price, for that kind of price. You get one for yourself and one for some of your members of your family. You know. I did see one. I think it's made by, it's a weird name. Was it Dumbo RC? You could buy 2 RCs with that kind of money or more. Depends on what you get. And generally, if you buy Traxxas, it's going to be maybe 2 RCs for that kind of money. But if you went with a cheaper brand like Red Cat, ECX, some of the other ones, you could get 3 RCs for that type of money and still have decent RCs. But I wish somebody would buy, somebody, smart and good with their business would get HPI and bring them back up. Because I remember when they launched the HPI Venture, I drooled for that RC, the HPI Venture, because one of the most realistic bodies without getting a Tamiya that you can get. The Venture was so realistic, the body was. And to put the steering linkage behind the axle, I mean, come on. Your steering linkage is behind the axle, so on approach, you ain't got to worry about that rubbing the rock. Awesome idea. You added like aluminum on the ends of the axles and on the housings, the axle housing, gives it lower center of gravity, more weight down low. The biggest thing you got knocked for is you put the crappiest RTR tires that you could put on an RC on that one, and you slap the battery in the back. If they'd have put the battery sideways right behind the motor, so it would be more lower down or towards the front a little further, that would have helped. And then they said, oh, we're releasing the HPI Venture today, but stay tuned for new bodies to put on this. No new bodies ever came. Even after they released the HPI Builder's Kit. I bought my Slash pre-roller chassis on Amazon for $69.99, free shipping. Wow. Pretty good deal there. You can't hardly buy a crawler chassis. Just a chassis for $70. Yeah, HPI really is But the Venture, if you want something that looks realistic, and when you put it on that trail, you put a few accessories up in that little roof rack area, change out the wheels and tires, put some good ones, and change the servo. Because I done heard it from many a person that the stock servo on the HPI Venture was crap. They said you could get the one China, just get you one of them China 20 kilograms or 25 kilograms that's waterproof Metal Gear, slap that in there, it'd be better than what came in stock. And then just basically the tires. But to me, those were the two biggest changes I heard you needed to do for it. Yeah. I always wanted an HPI something because I've never owned an HPI anything. And when they came out with the FJ Cruiser, I wanted that thing bad. And now, even though they've lowered the price some on it, it just doesn't seem like the parts availability is as good as you'd want it to be. I mean, you buy a Red Cat, you know you can get parts for it. You buy Traxxas, you know you can get parts for it. You know, you buy an HPI Venture and you break something on it, it's going to take a little bit longer to get them parts. It doesn't look like they're as readily available. I mean, that's like buying Axial. Axial, Traxxas, or Red Cat now. Pretty much any of those, you can get the parts pretty much anywhere. But that HPI, not right now. Yeah, that FJ. I love the gunmetal gray. The reason I liked the gunmetal gray the best was because you couldn't hardly see the hood, the pins, the body pins. You couldn't hardly see them. Because two of them are up here where the little roof rails are at. Made it where you couldn't hardly see them. And the two in the hood, because it was that gunmetal gray, two black body posts didn't hardly show. Whereas the sand one stood out like a sore thumb. So my preference would have been the gunmetal gray. Now, if you know you can find parts, if you check a few different online hobby sites and you see they carry all the parts for it, then yeah, it's a good truck to get if you're willing to change the tires, or at least the foams I heard, or if you're willing to change the servo. But I mean, how many people buy an RC and don't? Yeah. It just looks, and with those black wheels, it looks like what you would see on the road. Cool. Sometimes you can find good deals like that if you shop around. But yeah, man, just if you've got any friends that do RC, I would say test one of their vehicles just to see if you really like the going slow. Because, I mean, that's the general idea. If you're going to trail one or crawl one, you're going slow. And if all you're used to is either bashing one, going real fast, or speed running one, you might not like the slow part as much. Some people like all of it. And some people just like one or the other, you know. Like me, I'd rather see a short course truck out on a track doing laps than actually see one running down a road, speed running. That's just my opinion. I've gone and watched short course truck races before, and I enjoyed the dickens out of watching them. I even ran my 2-wheel drive short course truck just doing laps out on the track one day just to see what it was like. But I just didn't have the money to invest in it. And guys told me, if you ain't got money to put into your rig to get it up to par with some of these other guys who are running the Losey's Team Associated, which are your main two race trucks on tracks. He said it's kind of hard to compete unless you go into a track that has the run what you brung stock class where all you can run It's the stock stuff except for the wheels and tires. That's basically all they let you change. I had an indoor helicopter before. I've never had any helicopters. Few little small indoor quads, but never a helicopter. I always thought about getting one, but never had one. Now, Massive Clouds, I got to ask you a real quick question because I know you watch the RC stuff a lot. Excuse me. I never raced trucks because they were too far away. Well, I lived in a town, and it was about 30 miles away at the most. There was a racetrack, and it was an indoor oval track. And I went down there, and I took my Torment, and I talked to a few of the guys out there, and they sat there and told me. They said, if you're going to run that, you're going to need to change the wheels and tires. You're going to need to change the shocks. You're going to need to change pretty much everything on the truck. And you're going to need to change the gears and the transmission, blah, 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 because most of the people down here run brushless and lipos and all that. And the two-wheel drive Torment had plastic gear. So I had all this stuff I was going to have to do to it. I had done cleaned the inside of the windows so I could run a transponder. I had done changed the shock springs. And a couple of the guys said, you know, you might could do something with your actual tires that are on it. They handle better than I thought they would. But they said I needed to get, you know, metal gear transmission, and I needed to get a brushless system. And at the time, I didn't have the extra money. So I just went there and watched other people. Because they said the most two competitive trucks on the track, Losi, Team Associated. They said Traxxas, if you're willing to dump the money into it, can be competitive, but straight out the box, it's more of a basher, just like Torment. And when I got my four-wheel drive Torment, I was going to take it and try to use it because it came with metal gears in the transmission. But my dad passed away, and then I just got out of the short course truck deal, quit running them, quit going to the races, because me and my dad, we were always race fans. We watched NASCAR together. We went to Clemson football, college football games together. We did stuff like that together. We went fishing together. And I just took a break from anything concerning all that for a while after he passed away. And, you know, now I think about it, mostly I would probably go just to watch other people race and enjoy that. And maybe talk to the guys and see if any of them do any crawling or trailing. And maybe try to hook up with them and do something like that. But I don't know if I'd ever run one on a racetrack. You know. But the trail trucks, to me, I just find you can have so much fun with them if you're into that kind of thing. And very rarely do you break one, you know. Especially if you're not bashing it. If you're just out running a trail, climbing over some tree limbs, you know, a few rocks here and there or something like that, running it through a few little water puddles, you know, and you're not, say, drowning it, very few of the trail trucks give any trouble for that. I had a Team Associated SC10, and it was the biggest POS. I've heard the same thing about Losi. It's like people have a love-hate relationship with them. Traxxas, as far as toughness, yeah, they've got the market on toughness. But I heard it was something about the aerodynamics, the parts that you could put on that Losi or that Team Associated when it come to racing. They were just better. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's built light to be race oriented. So when you bash one, you break something like every time you run it, pretty much. That's what I heard. But see, it's kind of hard to find an in-between one. You got Losi and Team Associated. Good for racing, but you can't really bash them. You got Traxxas, great for bashing, but you really got to do a buttload of work, you know, to be able to race it and win, to be competitive. Yeah. And generally, if you bash one and somebody else hits yours with theirs is breaking. Yeah, the Losie's breaking, or the SCX10, the SC10 is breaking before a Traxxas or an ECX Torment would. In fact, me and the guy were out bashing. I had my Torment. He had his Losie. And we turned, and I thought we knew what each other was going to be doing, and we hit each other. And I think I broke an axle carrier on his Losie. And we were just running around this like red clay, like track area where people ran like dirt bikes and stuff like that. And we were just playing around on that, having some fun. And I don't think I hit him wide open, and my truck didn't go but 21. I think that's the fastest my Torment would do because it was a brush motor. We can get up to about 20, 21. I hit him with that 2-wheel drive Torment, snapped the hub axle or whatever, hub carrier, I think it is, on that Losie. And I was like, wow, I didn't hit him that hard, and the body covers most of the wheel anyway. I was kind of shocked. True. But I talked to guys at the track. They talked about how much money they had to dump into that Traxxas to get it competitive on the track. And I was just like, if I was just going to be buying it for racing, I wouldn't get the Traxxas because you got to dump so much money into it. You know, I just don't see it. And being a budget guy, I couldn't afford it either. I mean, these guys were talking money. Whereas you get a Team Associated, nothing else, you start out by buying a roller and you build it up, slowly put money into it. Yeah, but like I said, it's just the Traxxas Slash. Okay, you look at the Traxxas Slash originally, when the original. Now, I'm not talking about the low center gravity chassis. I'm talking about the other ones. You see how high they sit up. When you got a truck sitting like a monster truck, just high up off the ground, with that big old balloon style body, and you turn a curve going fast, the Rustler's still not as high up to me as the Traxxas Slash. You know, and it doesn't balloon. I mean, I've seen guys take an HPI, a little 2-wheel drive style rig, and win races with them. But short course trucks, yeah, if you're going to try to do Traxxas and try to do any kind of races, you've got to get that low center of gravity chassis and build it from that. Yeah, man, you go to make a turn and you're basically crippled because you figure that Losie makes that turn and doesn't flip. You flip every time you make a turn at over half throttle. It's kind of hard to win a race if you're cutting flips every time you get above half throttle. Now, when you can take that rig and you can make that curve full throttle and it doesn't flip, then you know something. You got something that's got a chance. If you got speed enough to keep up with them, then you got a chance at maybe winning some races. Because if one of them decides to roll, because you can set your rig up where it doesn't roll at all, and you're only a couple mile an hour slower than some of the other guys, and there's roll, you got a chance. True. Now, Kyosho. Was it Kyosho? What is it? What is it? 6? Is it Kyosho Ultima or is it the 6 model? It's their short course truck version. I heard those were pretty bad, but if you could buy a used one, a roller, and build it up, I heard the Kyosho short course truck was really competitive. If you bought one, you say if you were trying to do it budget wise, you buy one as a roller and then build it up. And they were pretty good. They were up there with some of the Losi and Associated. They were like right behind them. But the Traxxas, I heard you had to have low center of gravity chassis, and you had to do a lot more work to get it there. But I think HPI, their short course trucks, they're more just for bashing. They're kind of like ECX, mainly made for bashing, but you could get one, Yeah, SC6. That's the one I meant. I think it was one or two at that track. But I'm going to say that 80% of what I saw at that track was Losi, Team Associated. I want to say 70 or 80% of it was that. Maybe 10, 15, 20% was Traxxas. You might have 5% that was Kyosho. You might have 1% that was ECX. There was a couple guys. I think their sons were starting out, and they didn't want to throw the money into it in case they didn't, stay interested in it. So they got them like ECX ones. I put them out there with that. That way, if you didn't stay interested in it, you wasn't out as much money. Dads give them a ECX Torment, put them out there. If they don't like it, they wasn't out a whole lot of money. But if you look at it now, Horizon Hobby and ECX, I don't know which one's idea it was, they've increased the price of the Torment two-wheel drive to where it's right there at the price of the Slash. Yeah, I would love to have an Armor Granite, whether it be a two-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive, whether they're like Armor. I would love to have one of them. They're great bashers, but I don't think you would be buying one to win races. There's a big difference in that. You could take an Armor and launch it and probably not break much, if anything. But if you take it to that track, it's going to probably be just about as crippled as the ECX Torment, the HPI ones, and the Traxxas ones. Excuse me. But yeah. Now, what do you think of the Team Associated brand Element, the Element RC version? The trail trucks. You got the Element RC Sendero, which is the one that's got the gray body, which everybody, mods the crap out of and loves. Then you have, with the 1.9s on it, then you have the blue, sky blue, whatever you want, baby blue, whatever you want to call it, the Trail Walker, the most recent version. Now, it didn't sell as much because it ran 1.55s. I like them because they come factory with the gear ratio more for the front. You got that, your front wheel is going to pull more than your rear wheels. And then you can change out the gears and make it pull even more if you want to. I like them because of that. I love where you can mount a chassis mounted servo winch right beside your servo that's already there. They give you a spot to do that. Yeah, they're way better for climbing because of that, having where the front wheels can spin more than the back wheel. That ratio, that gear ratio, where you can have that extra set, I think it's 5 or 7% the way it comes. And you got them other gears in there, you can swap it out and make it go up to like 11%. Yeah, I mean, come on. You got the mount already added. You can buy this rig. Comes with a 3-channel radio system. So you can automatically put you a servo mounted winch in there, run the fair lead out the front, and operate it by your radio. And then if you want to put lights, run them, like I said, from a 9-volt battery and just mount your battery up towards the front. And that way, any extra weight's towards the front anyway. But I think one reason the Trail Walker didn't sell as good as the Enduro Sendero, the gray pickup truck, is because the gray pickup truck looked a little more like an old Chevy pickup or an old Ford pickup. And the body was the two pieces where you could just use the cab and leave the bed off. You had to just put them together. Plus, it had 1.9s under it. Now, the bumpers on it sucked because they get you hung up left and right, front and rear bumper on the Sendero. But if you look, you can buy the Trail Walker for like $50 cheaper than you can buy the Sendero. And I think it's a lot to do with the 1.55 wheels and the blue body. A lot of people don't care for the blue body, and a lot of people don't want to run 1.55 wheels. My thought is, if it's $50 cheaper, you get it, you run it for a while. If you're not feeling the 1.55s, upgrade to a small 1.9, so that way it still ain't way up, but it gives you a little bit of a lift. And then if you don't like the body, a little bit later, change out bodies. But in the beginning, you save $50 by going with that one. And most people are going to end up down the line changing the wheels and tires and may change the body too. I like the Trail Walker. The 1.55, I think you get it on the back wheel well. I think you get it more on the back wheel well than you do anywhere. But that also depends on what you've got your body height set at and your shock. If you add a little more attention to your shocks, it's going to push the tires down a little bit further, the axle down a little bit further, may give you a little bit more clearance between the fender well. But you could take a Dremel and just give it a light, just a light run across it with a Dremel, where that way nobody will really tell it but you, but maybe you might get rid of the rub. Is it adjustable? I think the wheelbase might be adjustable on it as well. Now, and you got the ride height. You got body posts on them, so you can take your body up or down. You can just lift it up one notch if you're getting body rub, if it doesn't look too funny. Me, if I didn't want to raise the body up, I would take a Dremel and just lightly run up around the wheel well and just take a little bit off. Say maybe less than a half inch, just enough to maybe cut out the rub, but still look normal. I really like the look of the Trail Walker. I mean, for a $50 price difference. And then if you catch it somewhere online and they've got a coupon, you can end up getting it for another $25 off of that. So you could really get it at a good price. And then I would probably, myself, I think the first thing I'm doing when I get it is going in there and changing to those other gears instead of having that 5% to the front, and just go ahead and trying out the 11% to the front. Because I didn't see anybody actually do that. They left it with the 5% and just went with that. I would want to try the 11 just to see what it could get going up a hill, seeing how much, it would do going up a hill. And I actually like the little Trail Walker body. It's not as cool as the Sendero, but it's different. And I like the $50 cheaper price tag. And the fact that you could change those wheels out and the body out later. And those 1.55s, I was thinking maybe paint them white to look better on that truck. Or get some white aluminum beadlocks. Put some white aluminum beadlocks or some black aluminum beadlocks with that pickup truck. I think those would look good, whether it be 1.55s or 1.9s. Check this out on A-Main. Yeah, they got the Cross RC Demon SG4C. Yeah, but the cheapest thing I've seen on Cross RC, there's an SUV on there. It's Cross RC SC. It's Cross RC. It's I forgot the name of it, but it's the SUV version. Comes with a roof rack with the light bar, and it looks good. It's $269 for the kit. And I'm like, okay, you've got a Red Cat Gen 8 over here ready to run, $299. You got the Gen 7 Pro for $250. You've got the Element RC that I just told you about for less than $3. And if you get a coupon on it, it would be, all these would be about the same as that thing just for a kit of the Cross RC. But I've heard they're made out of really good stuff. And that's why their kits are so pricey. That's what I've heard from people that build them. Depends on the version you get, how much aluminum you get. Like, say, if you get the $269, you're going to get the plastic wheels. You're going to get 1.9 wheels and tires, but you're going to get plastic wheels. Whereas if you go with the higher one, instead of the $269, you go with the 3-something or up, then you get even aluminum beadlocks with it. So it depends. And I think they give you a Lexan body on the $269 version. If you get up there in the 300s and towards the 4, well, then they give you the hard bodies. So it depends on which version you go with. You could end up with all aluminum, pretty much everything, aluminum beadlocks, and end up with a hard body to put on it. Of course, those look the best. But $469 for just a kit, like, say, the truck. And you can see inside of it because it's got the doors cut out of it. It's got the cage. It's supposed to come with some LEDs. It's got the hard body. You can open the hood. It's got a little fake motor that sits under there. Aluminum bead locks and all that good stuff. But you done spent $500. And then you still got to put all of it together and put all the electronics in it and buy paint and do all that. For that $500, why not just get the brand new Red Cat Gen 8, the Axe edition? And this one you're getting, one with a convertible style, and you're getting brushless. Yeah. Now, I'll build certain ones. Now, I wouldn't mind buying certain CC01 kits and building a CC01, having a little fun with it. Certain other Tamiya kits, if you can catch a good sale on them. Like, you go on a site and you catch a Tamiya kit, and it's on sale for like $89. And you're like, man, you can't buy anything running really hardly for that. That's worth the flip with product support like Tamiya. You buy that kit, you end up building it. Or if you've never built a kit and you want to try it at least one time. That's why I bought the Sand Rover. That, and I love the Doom Buggy style. And I bought that Tamiya Sand Rover, got it for around $99 for the kit. Bought the stuff I needed to put in it. Built it myself, painted it and everything. It's a 2-wheel drive little Doom Buggy. Do I like it? Yeah. Would I have rather bought one that was already put together? No, because I wanted to have the experience to see what it was like. Well, it's like this. Tamiya has awesome support, but if you don't like Phillips head screws, you won't like Tamiya, because 90% of their RCs Phillips head screw. If you love sucky tires, that's 90% of Tamiyas. They're going to come, if you build them, they're going to come with crap tires. Oh, no, there's some good bashing Tamiyas, even with the Phillips head screws. There's guys out there still running ones that they've had for 20 years. Well, generally, the Phillips heads only suck if you take them apart and put them back together a few times. But if you've got one that's really stout and you get out there and you bash it and you never break it, you're not taking the screws out of it. You know, you're not going to worry about stripping them because you're not having to unscrew anything. And there's a lot of them Tamiyas out there. I've seen guys flip them across their yard, you know, and not break anything. You go look at them, they don't necessarily look the best running. You go look at some of the videos of like the Tamiya lunch boxes. There's a lot of things they need to make them great, but just to go out and have a fun time bashing with them, I've seen guys take those things out there, wheelie them, flip them around, and not break anything. Whereas you might try that with something else and snap a wheel off. I've seen Kyosho, some of their two-wheel drive vehicles, break quicker than Tamiya. That's why when people fuss about, you know, your plastic with flex in them, people complain, oh, this has got too much flex in it. Well, you know, a lot of times that's a good thing. You're flipping that thing, and that plastic's flexing. As that thing's flipping, less likely to break it. Whereas if that plastic's just stiff, it hits, that force has got to go somewhere. You know, generally something's going to break. That's why I'm not upset a lot of times when an RC has a little bit more, you know, flexible plastics. And it's the same way with when you're crawling. You get up crawling up on rocks, and everybody's talking about the cheap plastic links and blah, 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 blah. They flex. Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, you wouldn't hear nobody saying they broke. They flex and they don't crawl competition-wise. They don't crawl great. But just for the backyard crawler, they don't break and they go. Whereas you go and throw them aluminum ones in there, then you got them breaking off where they hook on at, breaking the little ends. Yeah, it can either help you or hurt you. That extra flex might let it flex and twist a little bit more. You get a little more torque twist, and it comes out of some rocks that normally wouldn't come out of if it didn't have the twist or the flex. Or it helps get you hung up into another set of rocks, and because of the flex, you can't bring it up out of the rocks because your front steering linkages and everything are flexing too much, and you can't get out of that rock. But then again, you get hung up in that rock, and you got all aluminum. Wherever you got plastic left at, that's where it's going to snap at because you got so much aluminum on it. I mean, it's good and bad on both ends. I mean, I've heard of guys saying they abused the crap out of their little ECX Barrage. The, not the 24 scale, but the one they call 110. And they said they couldn't break them. You know, I haven't run mine enough to even go comment on that one. But, you know, some RCs, they just seem to handle so much punishment. But the parts aren't that available for them as... Well, see, I've got a bunch of different ones in my head. And the thing is, if I get something, it's probably going to be just one. So I kind of got to weigh my options. I'm thinking the SCX 24, the Chevy pickup, the 67 Chevy C10, I think it is. Thinking that one, or the Jeep, little Jeep Wrangler from Axial, or jumping up to the 18th scale and going with Panda Hobbies and getting that black and red Dodge Ram Charger that we talked about. Or if you jump up to 1/10 scale, I'm looking at one of the RGTs, the Gen 7 Pro, the Gen 8, the orange or the blue one, or the Trail Walker. And those are the different ones I'm looking at, the 24th scale, the 1/18 scale, or the 1/10. But if I get something, it's only going to be one of those. If I end up getting one, it's only going to be one. And the only reason I'm even considering this is because some of them have been marked down. You say the Gen 8, huh? The orange or the blue one, huh? Because I definitely can't afford going with the Gen 8 Axe Edition, the brushless one. I can't put that kind of money in one. Wouldn't be Budget Guy RC if I was putting that kind of money in one. That's just a bit out of my range. Now, I might could get the regular Gen 8 and then down the road, maybe change out the body and go with the newer Gen 8 body without the roof part that you can take off. Yeah. I don't know which one I like better, the blue or the orange, to be honest. I've got a couple of YouTube buddies that have the blue one, and I've got a couple of YouTube guys that have the orange one. So I don't know which one I would go with. They both look good for what they are. Now, if it didn't have the stripes, the rally stripes and all that, the black on them, I would probably pick the blue one. If it didn't have the rally stripes on it, pick the blue one. Yeah, Gen 8 has portals. I would pick the blue one, do the roof white, and then put white aluminum beadlocks on it and run it blue and white. And then see if I could get somebody to custom print me up some rally stripes to go on it that are white. Have the blue Gen 8 with a white roof, white rally stripes, and then white aluminum beadlocks. I think that would look so kick butt. But since it's got the black rally stripes and everything, I was thinking of going with the black aluminum beadlocks. Or maybe a black and an orange, or an orange and orange trimmed in chrome beadlock. I haven't decided if I went with that. But something definitely to make it stand out and be your own. So it wouldn't be exactly like everybody else's. But yeah, it has portals. It's got the servo on the chassis like everybody's going to. But the radio is only a 2-channel radio. So if you want to do a winch, you've either got to get one that's got a switch that you can manually operate it yourself, or you've got to change out radio systems just to be able to run a winch. Yeah, black beadlocks with orange beadlock rings. Now, I saw one online I was looking at. The middle section, the whole middle section was like orange. And then one of them had a chrome ring. The other one had the orange in the middle, had the black outer ring. But the orange beadlock ring with a black rim makes more sense because you got the black tire, the orange ring, and then the black rim. But I could go for an orange and chrome, But the reason I said orange and black or black is because if you look at the Gen 8, it's got more black on it. You don't really see a lot of chrome on the Gen 8. Yeah, the decals are black that are on it. That's why I said run black beadlocks, maybe trim with orange. But now, if you bought the Gen 8, I saw one time. I think it's done. They done sold it. I saw a Gen 8, and it comes ready to run, but they send you a clear body. I don't know if the guy still got it, but it's brand new. All they did was took the original body from it and put you a clear body. That way you can paint it whatever color you want it. Now, that one would be cool if you bought that set. Then you paint the body what color you want it. And then you can get somebody to do you up some decals, to do what you want to do. And like I said, blue color, white decals saying rally, and everything, and saying international or whatever on it, and then put the white rims. Yeah. I've heard a lot of people use like brake fluid, and then they use certain types of rubbing compound or wax to help get it off of there and to get rid of the haze. Your biggest thing is when you're cleaning the windows, I would leave the decals on it until you make sure you get them looking good. Because you remove the decals off on the outside, the stickers, and then they don't turn out like you want, you've ruined the body. Nitro fuel didn't leave any haze. Well, that's cool if you know somebody that's got nitro fuel, but if you don't have access to nitro fuel, I hate to spend that kind of money to buy nitro fuel, and that's all you're going to use it for. But yeah, my idea would be to clean the inside of the windows first. See if they're starting to look clear. And if they look almost completely clear, then peel off your decals on the outside. Because then it's worth it. But if you start cleaning them from the inside and you don't think you're going to be able to get them good enough, you just leave the decals on it. No harm, no foul. What's up, Gorilla Bear Tech? Should have been in here earlier. We had a guy talking about doing speed runs and stuff. And I know that's some of what you like. He's trying to set up a Traxxas Slash. I did 62 mile per hour run with the Slash 4-wheel drive earlier on 3S. Yeah, we had a guy in here earlier, and he was talking about he's trying to get his up to 60. And he was going to run a 3S. And him and Massive Clouds was talking gearing and everything. If you go back and look through the comments, you can find some of what he was commenting about. And you might can go check out his channel, and see if you want to run something. You want to talk to him some. Since y'all got that running speed runs together, y'all got that kind of thing in common, Like I said, I've never done any speed runs. I just get out there and run them and have fun with them. I mainly bash them or go out and trail them, or crawl them. I like watching speed runs. Well, this guy's putting, I think he said he was putting about a 3,500 kV 4-pole system in his Slash. I think it was the 2-wheel drive Slash. But if you look up in the comments, you can see exactly what he's doing. But he's talking about running it on 3S. He's just shooting for 60. That's his goal right now, is 60. And we were telling him with the right pinion and spur gear and a 3S, with that KB motor, he should be able to hit 60. I don't run it with the short course truck body though, because anything. Oh yeah, you get too much air under that big fat body. Yeah. Well, I've seen guys get the Proline, like drag style, like, 55 Chevy bodies and stuff like that. I like watching those running on the Traxxas 2-wheel drives and 4-wheel drives. They look so sick, you see like a 55 Nomad or one of your Oldsmobile Cutlass stock car like style bodies, see somebody running up for speed runs, those generally handle speed runs better. That short course truck body, that thing's just so poof. But I'm not, my opinion, I don't generally watch them. I like to see them with a body on it, because if you go to a drag strip and watch a real truck drag down the road, it's going to have some kind of body on it. You know, that's just me. And people go out and say, hey, I'm practicing, checking out my slash, seeing kind of what I can get it up to with this gearing, and they don't run a body on it. That's okay. But then they come back and put the body on it and give it an actual real run. And I've seen people with some sweet bodies. What is it, Delta Plastics? Guys put some sweet custom bodies on the Traxxas Slash. Yeah. But I don't see anybody, once they get it above 40, I don't see anybody running a Slash body trying to do a speed run. But the only thing you see a Traxxas Slash body on is when you're out there bashing. Yeah. They're good, real good. And if you put that low center of gravity kit under them and the right body on it, you can really make them things scream. Yeah. Because I got the Traxxas Scully edition, 2-wheel drive Stampede. And I'm only running a 7-cell nickel metal hydride in it. And when I first take off, the first few times of taking off, that thing does wheelie stands. Well, I like bashing the short course truck because that parachute body generally protects it. You can flip that short course truck 10 times, and because that parachute body is sticking out over them wheels, you don't break off stuff as easy as you do like on a buggy. Them buggies, you're hitting directly on the wheels and on the suspension. I did a personal best 67.5 on my older Slash two-wheel drive Castle Creation Roar approved short course truck edition system. Cool. But yeah, I love bashing my short course trucks because, like I said, I just think that short course truck body lets them take more abuse. I broke more buggies than I broke short course trucks. Yep, and imagine if you switch that to like a stock car style body or one of those Delta plastic bodies. Even with body, you could probably still get 60, 65. Without body, my Slash 4x4 hits 58 to 62 before it wants to flip. Yeah, everybody raves about the Castle motors and ESC combos. Ah, cool. Yeah, if you get a racing edition, that's already helping you out. Whether you're taking it to a track and trying to race it, or if you're going to do it speed running. Actually, a girl that likes me bump Slash. Hey, free never hurts. Excuse me. Hey, enough said. Look, guys, I hate to do it because I enjoy talking with you guys every time I get on here. Yep, freaking $485 brand new off of Amazon. Yeah, that's a bit pricey. I hate to do it, guys, but I'm about to get off of here. I ain't ate supper yet. It's after 10 here. I'm going to go get me something to eat. Get me something else to drink. Hope to chat with you guys next week. Y'all have a great one. Peace. We out. Didn't want everybody to say, what's that gulping noise behind us?
They wouldn't have heard me.
Jeez. That was pretty damn loud, baby.
Chair or maybe the cans clanking, but they know that you're home and there's other people in the house. Duh. But I wasn't going to cross over there in front of the camera.
I know.
Anytime.
I'm messing with you anyway.